Click the link below for a 30-day free trial of Audible. Yo! Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some more Kagurabachi content. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a little bit since I have gone over anything Kagurabachi related, and I tell you what, I am still absolutely loving and digging this manga. The Rokuhira arc is still going full steam ahead. We have some interesting fights going on, some little lore tidbits. We have allegedly the leader of the Hishaku, Chihiro, met the person who murdered his father, and real quick, before we get into the meat of this video, I don't know if that's actually the boss himself. The way he is haphazardly using his body when Chihiro cuts his arm off and he throws it at Chihiro, and it gives the vibe of a puppet master, kind of similar, not just with the design of the eyes, but it's very similar to the different paths of pain, which is why I'm thinking that this person took over a random goon's body, and that's why he was just there, and none of the goons seemed to really react to him being there. But before we start today's video, guys, please make sure you use code DAFFY10 at your next purchase at animeexpress.com. Please make sure that you get yourself something nice like a hoodie, a t-shirt, a Pokeball, or even like some anime-inspired lights, anything anime-related that you need. Please make sure you head on over there. Link will be in the description below. Please make sure you use my code. That is DAFFY10, and yeah, let's get on to it. But today, I wanted to actually sit down and discuss our main character, Chihiro Rokuhira. Now, me personally, I think that Chihiro actually is a really fitting protagonist for the world of Kagurabachi, considering the fact that as dark and grimy as the world is, I think that having a super chipper and energetic protagonist would very much clash tonally with the rest of the series. So I think that Chihiro being a more reserved character, a little bit on the shyer and awkward side, works very well. So when Kagurabachi was first announced, we have all these promo images of everything going on. Obviously, we had the huge meme that Kagurabachi was at first, before people actually dove into the series and figured out there was actual substance there. And with that, we have this really cool image of Chihiro and like all these different things of Chihiro unsheathing his sword. People thought it was just, oh, cool sword guy, and they just kind of dismissed it. But actually, when we go into Kagurabachi and we look at how Chihiro's mental is throughout the series, it's very interesting for me personally because it speaks volumes to how much trauma that Chihiro has been through. When we see flashbacks of Chihiro and his father, Chihiro has always been a little bit of a shut-in. His father is loud, boisterous, he's goofy. He actually reminds me a lot of Kafka from Kaiju number 8, not just in his design, but just how he acts in general. Or maybe Ishin from Bleach. And actually, Kunishige says that Chihiro gets it from his mother's side. So I'm hoping actually that we get some flashbacks or maybe a couple chapters dedicated to Chihiro's mom, because that seems like something on the table, and I may have something to do with Chihiro's innate power or something. I don't know, but there could be some stuff there, possibly. But when we look at Chihiro's motivations for the entire story of Kagurabachi, Kagurabachi essentially is a revenge story. It has this almost gothic noir kind of vibe to it. Hopefully when it gets an anime adaptation, I hope it's a lot of deep dark purples, some maroons. Possibly the soundtrack could have a more jazz influence, not like old-timey jazz, maybe like jazz funk, jazz hop, maybe. Sorry to get off topic there, but I really want this manga to get an anime adaptation, but I think it will be absolutely fire. Sakamoto Days just had a trailer come out for it, so give me 2-3 years, hopefully we can get something. But when we look at Chihiro's desire for revenge in the story, he has not arrived to the conclusion that, oh, maybe revenge is a bad idea yet, as most revenge stories tend to go. You even look at something like The Last of Us 2 with Ellie, which is a path that I really would not like Chihiro to go down. Now, granted, I think that narratively, yes, I do think that The Last of Us 2 was a good story, but was the ending what people wanted to hear? No. But did the creators enact a vision that they had and that they set out to do? Yes, but it was still controversial, and I knew it was going to be controversial. Now, do I love the message that it sent? Not really, because it kind of made like, oh, we went through this entire game to kill all these other people, but all of a sudden we let the person who took our loved one, our protagonist from the last game, we let them go after we killed everybody else. That's weird to me. And I really hope that Chihiro does not go down that path. Maybe at a later time, maybe as he gets older, there's a time skip or something like that. But with Chihiro, he is so focused and fueled by his revenge. But it's not more so in anger, it's more sheer, raw focus. We'll have certain panels, instances of where Chihiro is sitting down and he's meditative and he's not angry or lashing out or anything like that. But he even has a comedic moment with Shiba where he's saying, I wake up each morning with fresh hatred, wanting to kill those who killed my father. And he's not angry, he's not like loud, he's not boisterous. When I say angry, I mean, when I say externally. I don't mean internally. Obviously, internally, he's feeling lots of turmoil, lots of hurt, lots of pain. They took his father away, and he spent every day with his dad, hanging out, making swords, right? Making all these good, fun memories. Even when Chihiro goes through his awakening with Kuro, he gets spurred on by a memory where his father is like, you are too focused. You are too dead set in what you are able to do. You need to kind of free up your thinking. You need to be more malleable. And Chihiro, obviously, he swipes his eye and then he just Char, I'll cut it all away. I'll destroy it all, which is a fantastic moment. I absolutely love this double spread, man. Oh my god. So I don't ever want Chihiro to have a Vegeta moment or anything like that where he's screaming in the rain saying, why God, why? But I want it to be slower than that. I want him to arrive at a conclusion where maybe he's like, okay, I killed the people who killed my father. Now what? Because Chihiro is not a superhero. He's not trying to be a vigilante or anything like that. He's on a path to do what he can do. He's not actively patrolling, looking for crimes to solve and all of this. He wants to kill the people who killed his father. But yes, he's not actively trying to take out the Hishaku. Those are bad motherfuckers, bro. And he's not actually trying to take down that organization. But he's getting there. We even see with the Rakuzaichi, when he hears about the fact that the Rakuzaichi is literally an excuse for human trafficking, he is mortified. And even when he saves Mr. Inazuma, Chihiro has this soft side to him that at a glance you wouldn't think that he has. Again, he has the red eyes, he has that scar on his face. He looks scary, he looks intimidating, especially when he's facing down or walking down opponents of his and his eyes have that bright, piercing glow to them, like a Ghost Rider pennant stare almost. But whenever he encounters children, he takes on this big brother role almost effortlessly. Again, I mentioned Mr. Inazuma and how he was like, hey man, you did a good job, well done, let me take care of this. And Mr. Inazuma actually corrects him. He's like, oh, it's actually Mr. Inazuma. He's like, okay, I apologize. Great job, kid. And even with Char, when he first met her, his first instinct was, hey, to send her away, maybe an orphanage or something like that. But then when he actually gave her some thought, then he actually takes her out for a bite to eat. He actually, gives her some ice cream, some sandwiches, and all these things. He actually treats her like a young little girl that has been through a lot, which is what she is. And the intense rage that he felt when he saw her arm get sliced off in the car and he found out that her body was mutilated, the rage that he felt, you could feel it, even though he didn't say a word. And it's one of the things actually I love about Kagurabachi as is evolved as a manga is that the author has gotten so much better at giving better facial expressions, which was something that a grievance that I initially had. But when we actually go to even a latest chapter, which I'll bring up in a second, you can see that there has definitely been an evolution there. So Chihiro isn't super angsty. He's not super angry all the time or anything like that. Obviously, he's on a quest for revenge, but he's more similar to John Wick in a sense. He's badass vigilante with a mission. Now, it's interesting because when we talk about shy or more reserved protagonists, I would directly compare Chihiro to someone like Giorno Giovanna, right? Now, is Giorno Giovanna my personal favorite JoJo? No, I would actually probably say that Giorno is actually my least favorite JoJo. But the reason I don't like Giorno is because Giorno, to me, like, he always just felt kind of stale. We have all these bombastic and different personalities, and yes, when we go to Giorno, it's a little different. I understand what Araki was trying to do, but we have all these crazy personalities with the Passione gang, and then we get to Giorno, it's like, Even Fugo is very similar in personality to Giorno, but he still has that rage element. He still has that big, part of his personality that's there. Giorno is just, I'm not really loving it. But Chihiro, to me, feels more human, and especially in one of the most recent chapters when he actually finds the man that killed his father, he has this moment where he breaks down. He almost reverts to like a childlike state with tears in his eyes. Why did you kill my father? And that moment hits really, really deep for me, man. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, I am so emotionally invested in this series, man. I want this series to do well, and it's still doing well. I know a lot of people are seeing like different rankings and stuff like that. Shonen Jump is not going to axe this manga. I'm telling you right now. They are desperately grasping for different series that will like hold up the magazine, with My Hero coming to an end, with JJK coming to an end this year as well. Obviously, no Demon Slayer. Now, whatever. Like, depending how the anime is received, it may do better. I don't know, but Shonen Jump is not axing this manga. I'm hoping, right? But yes, like I said, Chihiro feels so much more human to me because he just feels like someone that had something terrible done to him, and he's still kind of trying to figure out what he wants to do. And even when it comes to directly confronting his own father's ideologies, when it comes to the blades, these blades, for all intents and purposes, are like fucking nukes. Like, let's be honest with you. These are sources of immense power and destruction. And Chihiro initially was just like, I need to take them all back. I need to figure, like, they're not anyone's, they're mine. And then when Sojo was like, hey man, like, he's like, I love Kunishige, man. He's like, that's my dog. I love that dude, truly. And Chihiro's kind of looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then you have this bastardized version of what Kunishige's ideal and motives were for making these blades were. And Chihiro in the first arc is directly confronted with it. And Sojo talks about how these blades, they are weapons of destruction. They are made to kill. But Kunishige was telling Chihiro, hey, these are, yes, they're weapons to take someone's life, but it is always in defense of others. They're to defend, not to attack. That's what these are for. And initially, Chihiro didn't even want to think about it that way. He just always thought that my dad could do no wrong, but then he's like, wow, these are actually still instruments for killing people. Well, yes, Chihiro has no qualms about taking lives, especially with the scumbags that he fights on a regular basis. Obviously, rapists, traffickers, like different murderers, drug dealers, it doesn't really matter. He doesn't really care, but he still, it never clicked in him. It never really clicked for him before in the first arc where he's like, wow, these are actually weapons to kill people. What does this make me feel, right? And then he says at the end of the first arc, I don't really care. I'm still gonna kill you regardless. And then we go to the second arc, which is the Rokuhira arc where we are now, and he has a moment with Tenri, one of Hakuri's siblings, and he actually looks at Tenri with pity, because Tenri, as well as all of Hakuri's siblings, have this weird relationship with their father, where their father says that he loves them, but he almost says that he loves them like your favorite piece of cutlery in the kitchen, like your favorite steak knife to use or something like that. He sees his children as tools, as a means to an end. And we very clearly see this with his treatment of Hakuri, right? Where he even said that he thought I would, like, when he was literally treating Hakuri as a hostage, and he says, oh, you think I'm shaking because I don't want to hurt my son? No, I'm shaking because I am so fucking angry with him. And it disgusts Chihiro because he looks, and he had a kick-ass dad growing up, and then you look and you're like, how can you treat your son like this? And so when Chihiro encounters Tenri in one of the most recent chapters of Kagurabachi, he looks at him and he says, how can you be able to do this? And Tenri responds with, I have a duty that I must fulfill, mirroring Chihiro. Chihiro looks and he sees, okay, my father gave me a mission too. I'm on a mission for my parental figure as well. He says, so you know what? I'm going to give you 100%. So I'm very curious to see what this fight will look like. You guys may be seeing this video a week after that. You'll see my reaction to that later on. But Chihiro says, you know what? I'm not going to pity you. I'm going to give you all I got, which is very valiant of Chihiro. It's actually very considerate. And then kind of actually to wrap this up, really, there's just misconstruction that Chihiro like isn't funny. Like there's so many manga moments in here that actually play off of Chihiro's seriousness. Like when Chihiro Lee says, I wake up every day with fresh hatred. Like she was like, dude, your face is going to get stuck like that. Like, dude, that is not a way to live. And even when like Hakuri, when he first meets Chihiro, he's like obsessed. He keeps wanting to talk to him. Chihiro is just like, I I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And yeah, that little gag where like Chihiro's trying to run away from Akuri. He just keeps like catching up to him. Obviously, we know with some spirit energy, Chihiro is faster than him, but it's just a little gag. Chihiro is always the straight man in these situations, right? You're not really gonna see Chihiro crack a joke or anything like that. That's just not in him. But I absolutely love his character, especially his intellect as well. Trying to get Hiyuki on his side to actually cooperate with the Rakuzaichi raid and actually seeing if there's a way to actually get her to go along with this plan regardless. Yes, they want to take him in, but he figures from their short interaction, hey, she would not be down with the human trafficking and everything else going on, so how could I play this to my advantage? I love when a protagonist uses their big brain and actually goes with the smartest option, not just raw straight power through it. I hate it. I love when protagonists use their smarts to their best ability, and I love what Chihiro does this. So just moving forward, man, I am so excited to see what more Kagurabachi has in store for us, especially for our protagonist Chihiro. I'm very curious to see what road he will take. Will he take the more righteous path and resolve to, not killing and maybe not taking lives and think that revenge is not the way to go? Will he go will just go full send, kill everybody, just end it all? Who cares? We will see, man. But yeah, it's me, your boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. Let me know what you guys think of our GOAT Chihiro. You know what I'm saying? Chihiro. That's what I'm gonna call him now. But yeah, it's me, your boy Daffy, guys. I will see you in the next video. Y'all make sure to take care of yourselves, guys, and have a good one. Peace.